And here we are, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Julien and Dionne Show with Jen Grant and Jordan Grant. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon or evening, whenever it is you're watching this. Oh, right on. Perfect. Right off the top, my camera's fucking up.
Really?
Yeah, I think maybe. Hold on. Yep. And I'm not even recording. Yes, I am recording the sound, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, welcome to what is this, episode 493? I don't even know. I've lost track. I think so. 494, 493. We're just a few away from 500. Our 24-hour live stream episode. Is there anything more draining than doing taxes? I feel like I've been doing my taxes forever.
Yeah, it feels like it to me too.
Anyway, I'm here. The studio is a mess.
Oh, it looks much better than it was.
Yeah, there's just receipts and bills and invoices everywhere.
It's not that bad.
Is there anything more stressful than a government bill?
Nightmare City.
It's,
Well, let me tell you this. I accidentally calculated some figures wrong on my expenses, and CRA wants to see receipts for something. Is that more? I think that's more stressful.
Is it though? But you can just say you made a mistake. Because
I guess, but I just don't want them looking at.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at any. I don't want them looking at anything.
I haven't filed my HST QST since 2021, so they estimate it. So I got a bill for $29,000.
Whoa!
I mean, that's stressful when you get a government bill. Yeah, it's gonna go down though when I submit it and show it, but I'll still owe a bunch. But trying to figure out why my camera's kaputzing here a little bit.
Why are we all getting government bills? I also just got one.
Did you?
Yeah, because they overpaid me for CERB in like 2020, March 2020. So they billed me for that.
Oh, that's annoying.
Why? How did that? How did they overpay you though?
I don't know. Most people that are getting billed now applied for EI and CERB, but I just did CERB. And they sent me an extra $2,000. Like, it's not that much, but it's fine. But
it's still annoying.
I know. And when they make the mistake, they want the money like right away.
And
I know. And
also,
that's a problem.
And how can you like prove otherwise? Right? It's been so long now.
Right. I know.
That you're like, did I get too much or did I not? And now do I just have to take their word for it?
Yeah.
I know. I didn't even realize in the moment that happened, but. Whatever, that's life.
Makes you regret even getting CERB at all.
I had a friend that had it, that got it, and apparently he wasn't eligible. We found out after, and they were like, they sent him a letter being like, we need $12,000 by Monday, and it was like Thursday.
Okay.
I know.
What?
Yeah. Yep. These government bills, I tell you, will get you every time. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. Just do your taxes on time, especially if you run a business. I'm supposed to file every quarter, and I'm telling you, I will for sure from now on always file. I'm just so ignorant to when it comes to accounting and taxes. And I know nothing. I don't know anything, which is why I pay an accounting firm $200 a month to do my books. But I don't For me, I've said this on the show before, like I feel like I'm a good employee. You tell me where to go and I'll show up. But like when I have to do stuff on my own, I'm bad at it. I'm not a great self-starter or motivator to do shit on my own. And even though I'm paying this accounting firm every month for them to do my books, I still have work to do. I have to take pictures of all my receipts, all my invoices, all my bills, and I don't do them. Like I keep them, but I'm like, well, I'll just like do them when I have time. So literally, I'm doing a year and a half, not more than a year and a half, 20 months worth of taxes where I should be doing 4 at a time.
I was going to say, they should teach that. You know, a lot of people say that should teach more of that in high school. But you know what? The fact remains, you could have taught that to me in high school. I wouldn't have listened.
Yeah.
Until you actually have to do your own taxes, you don't give a shit about taxes.
That's true.
And anything for that matter. Like in high school, I was all like, yeah, whatever, you know, and then now I'm like, ooh.
I know.
Like geography. Why do I need to know that? Well, you do. You do actually, unless you want to sound like a complete idiot when you're playing Trivial Pursuit. Not that anyone ever do people still play Trivial Pursuit?
Oh yes. I think they do.
Whether it's that game or whether it's trivia at a friggin' bar, you know what I mean? People, or even just conversation in a gathering. You talk about certain things and you don't know where. I don't know where. Anywhere is.
I'm trying to see your improv skills.
Thanks for leaving me hanging there. Ukraine.
What about Ukraine?
Like, maybe if I had paid attention in geography class, I would have known where Ukraine was in relation to other European countries.
Which would be what? Which countries?
Well, I just know Russia. I know that. Poland. Now I know, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I didn't give two shits. All I cared about was, I don't know, like partying and shopping and.
Yeah. I hear you, Jenny G. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. I'm just for a sec here.
It's okay. Hey, Jordan, you talk to me here.
All right.
What's going on over there in Montreal? Talk to me. Anything?
What's going on over here?
Did you get things sorted in your apartment?
No. No.
Oh,
Like the AC is still not fully. It's fine now, but
you don't care
it's
about
the
AC
principle.
now, right?
I know, but it's just still annoying. The principle of it is annoying.
You
It's been,
should
like,
still
a year.
have air conditioning. I mean, it's not AC is not a
Right?
luxury.
Exactly.
Well, it's just that it's
then-
end of September, I thought.
Oh, right. Yeah, but if you're paying for an amenity, you should.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
what the
yeah,
fuck is
yeah.
happening.
Yeah, and then our faucet in the bathroom doesn't work, so we have to like brush our teeth and wash our face in the kitchen, which is like what is happening here.
Yeah.
And then
It's funny what you put up with,
Like-
and then you forget that, like, you start like not noticing it anymore, and you just get used to it. You know what I mean?
I
Like
know.
at first you're like, "This is crazy," then you're like, "Well, I'm just doing this now." Like
yeah,
our
this is just life now.
Oh,
bathroom
God, yeah.
sink upstairs
Don't
is
even.
atrocious.
It
When we
is.
first moved in, we're like, "That's got to come out." Well, it's been 5 years. It's still like that, but it's just like you don't notice it anymore.
In our defense,
Go ahead.
we tried to put in, and I know this isn't riveting content. However, I do think a lot of listeners will relate to this. We actually bought a vanity and had it ready to be put in, and we did not have one plumber that would come and do it. So, you know,
Stayed in the carport for 3 months, and then we sent it back.
yeah.
That was the
because-
closest we came to renovating. We've had multiple plumbers. We've had multiple plumbers come over the years, see what we can do. We've had contractors look
So
at it,
annoying.
give us suggestions. We're like, "Yep, we'll do this." Finally, we order a 2-sink vanity because it's just a 1-sink thing now. It's finally delivered. It goes in the carport. 3 months later, we're like, "Should we send it back? It's just been outside this whole time." And we're like, "Yep." Just call Costco. They come get it.
Costco has incredible customer service, but like imagine, because we live in the country, for sure something's gonna get in that box and like nestle in that vanity. So
Yeah.
I'm like, get it out of here, and it's a reminder every day. Oh yeah, there's that vanity that can replace that eyesore of a sink that we hated when we first moved in 5 years ago. And I know these are first world problems, big time first world problems, and love the house and everything. It's just annoying because now that even the what do you call it, the knob or whatever,
Oh yeah, it's
ridiculous. Now that's broken. Last time a year ago, the plumber's like, yeah, your sink is leaking into the vanity below, and it's okay. Well, I guess.
yeah. But even when we had the thing in the carport, I even stopped noticing that. Like for the first week, we're like, "Oh yeah, shit, got to get someone," and it weighed like 500-600 pounds.
Oh, that's the
Like,
other
oh
thing.
yeah, we have to get someone in. Oh yeah, we have to. And then you just stop noticing it. Then you just have this huge box in the container box thing in the carport, and it's just there, but you don't notice it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, are we low lives?
No, because we're trying.
Well, if you take a picture of our bathroom, you were like, "Oh yeah, these guys."
Oh
are
no, the bathroom's so
crackheads.
bad that I don't even want to have guests over. That's what's
What are you
happening.
talking about?
Just the sink. It's that, I don't know if you remember. It's that like seashell shaped sink, and it's all cracked in the bottom from someone, I guess, in the past must have dumped nail polish remover or something down there.
I've never noticed that. So
oh yeah, it's all.
that makes you feel better.
It does actually. If you keep going, tell us other things you haven't
It
noticed.
doesn't like I've never I've never walked into your bathroom and been like, oh.
Are these poor people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the things you think of and don't anymore. All that to say, how long have you been brushing your teeth in the kitchen?
A few days.
Yeah, give it about another week. It's just gonna be like normal. You could probably just board up the bathroom door and just use the sink for everything. Take a pish in
Yeah,
there.
we might have
Pish.
to.
I hate pish. Stop that.
Girl, where did that come from?
I don't like it. Don't act like you're not annoyed by it either. You're like curious. Yeah, where did that come from? That
Is
pish.
that what I sound like?
All
Where
high pitched.
is it?
It came from that I
All
directly
high-pitched.
stole from Howard Stern.
All high pitched.
He says pish. Oh, high pitched.
Sounds like Howard Stern.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Oh, snap.
Meant to give you a drum, a rim shot for high pitched. No, I'm rusty on the soundboard. I'm so concerned with the camera, which, by the way, we'll be upgrading the studio here soon, shortly. We've got exciting things happening to the show. This is the show, by the way, if you're wondering if the mics are just on and we don't know.
Nah.
Nah, this is it. This is what you're tuning into. This is the content that you desire.
Congratulations
This is
on
the
having
content
excellent
machine.
taste.
Coming
Excellent taste.
Coming at you, by the way, these days, once a week, the Julien Dionne Show with Jen Grant. We're going to be ramping up to 2 weeks again, but for the next couple weeks, we're both so very busy. All three of us very busy. So reminding you also to leave a review on iTunes. If you have that iPhone purple
that'd
app,
be great.
podcast app, just go there, leave a review. It makes a difference in the algorithms. And if you're watching on YouTube, even though my camera's fucking up right now, just hit like, subscribe, share. Our YouTube views aren't doing great. I think we're kind of I've done so many. I've had so many copyright strikes from our intro song and playing Mike Plume and all that I think I'm going to say that's why we have low views on YouTube. But our audio listeners are growing and growing every day, so we appreciate you
Why don't
tuning
you
in.
delete the old ones and then we'll just start fresh with no.
I'd have to start a whole new channel. I mean, I could. It's so much work. I mean,
Yeah.
lose all the backlog episodes, or I'd have to upload them all, which would take months. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But
Months. So it's like 500 episodes.
you know, like it takes. I don't know how long. I
But
wonder
there's
how
not
long it would take.
500 episodes on YouTube though.
No, there's probably
100.
No, more than that.
Yeah.
Couple hundred. Couple hundy.
I guess starting a new one would maybe be good.
Well, it might be good for algorithms and stuff without copyright strikes. Like
That's what I'm
literally
thinking.
all of the videos, when I go through on the back end, you can see it's just like copyright strike, whatever, or copyright claim. Which, anyway, I think that affects the visibility. That's how I sleep at night. So that's what I tell myself.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you
Go
too,
ahead.
like when you're asking people to do reviews, I know that like people think, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And then they forget. I totally get that. Cause there's like, I do that in my life. Like
You're
people,
giving them too much leeway. Do it. What's your excuse?
No, but just listen. So sometimes people will text me, like I'll realize, oh shit, I didn't text that person back because I meant to, and then I got distracted. I get it. But you know what's really nice is I was looking for someone to pressure wash our deck because it's slippery. You know how it needs to be done. And I messaged someone through, there's a Facebook group here for the community here in Wakefield, and it's called Wakefield Folks. And I messaged someone on there. And it's so nice to hear randomly that people watch and listen to our show.
Mm-hmm.
And also I wanted to give you this feedback, Jordan, watching the Instagram stories and clips and reels because they love them. And that in itself is its own machine.
Jordan, you get a round of applause for that.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
I messaged this guy who I thought might have been able to pressure wash the deck, and he's like, oh, well, I don't do that anymore, but I just wanted to let you know how much I'm enjoying your show. And the Instagram stories and reels and videos, like, I love them. And I wanted to give that feedback to you, Jordan.
Thank
There it
you.
is. There it is.
Nice.
Yeah, you do a phenomenal job. And someday soon we'll be able to pay you what you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
And Whoa, that money one is loud. I wonder if my shirt is messing up the camera, the pattern. Could that be? You know how
Yes,
that's
definitely.
a thing?
Definitely.
Hmm.
Because they're smaller checks.
Well, there's just no rhyme or reason. Like, because I use sometimes, well, lately my phone, sometimes it's crisp and clean and perfect, and other times it pixelates it. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's see how zen I am, which I attribute, by the way, to the 75 hard. We haven't talked about it as much as I predicted we'd be annoying and chatting about it all the time. We haven't really. This is day, what, 27, 28? 28. This is day 28, 75 hard. If you don't know what it is, it's 75 days. You do two 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside. You follow a meal plan. It can be whatever you want, but the point is you have to follow it. No cheat meals, no alcohol. You have to drink a gallon of water, 4 liters every day, and read 10 pages of a book. And I also quit pot in the process and caffeine just before starting it. And I have to say, I feel phenomenal. I'm way more even-keeled, like temper-wise and mood-wise.
You don't have to tell me.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
You know.
Get it?
You're trying to, gotcha.
I'll explain them. It feels really, 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 really good. And next time I'm on the edge of having a slip up, I need to think of this feeling. I need to remember what it's like. Like I'm feeling more productive. Like before, if I would have had a $29,000 government bill when I was high all the time or drinking, I would have just like buried it, not addressed it, lost sleep over it. But instead, you like when you're in control and clear-headed, you're bigger than your problems. Whereas if you're high all the time, I feel like all the problems feel bigger than you are, and you're just like ignore, avoid, and it becomes way worse. So if you're out there and you have, you want to do a cleanse or a sober stint, you don't have to quit forever, whatever it is. I mean, you can quit forever. I'm just saying, if you want to just, clear your mind a bit, reach out.
Yeah.
And I'll ignore your email at jdshow@lemonpress.ca.
I feel like
Ignore it.
I feel like we don't take it seriously enough in our society, like the potential of addiction. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, drinking is just so commonplace, not only commonplace, but encouraged and seen as a reward. And we don't realize how it can be a slippery slope for many people. Some people, for some reason, there's an innate ability to balance things and be able to be in moderation. But for some reason, others aren't. Like, I remember talking to this guy who was in AA and he had quit drinking years before. And he said, chances are, if this isn't everyone, but he said that some people just drink and then it just gets out of control and they have an unhealthy relationship with it.
Yeah.
But then others, it seems to be fine, like for some reason. And I don't know. I just feel like there should be a little bit more awareness on the use of alcohol and more awareness of yourself and why you're using it and how. Yeah.
I mean, if you're using it first thing in the morning, I mean, is there any better way to start a day than to hammer a 6-pack?
Circa Mexico.
Yeah, I know it is fun in certain contexts. Like, yeah, I mean, I have to admit, when you're on an all-inclusive resort, you wake up in the morning, okay, there's like, it's dark in the room and the AC's going, it's full blast, so it's cold in the room. Often in all-inclusive resorts, the floor is like tile, like ceramic tile, and then you go to your sliding door and you open it and it just hits you. Oh yeah, I'm painting a picture. This is an audio podcast. You open the sliding door and it just a wave of humidity and you hear the ocean and you hear birds and you hear like some ground staff starting, like they're someone's weed whacker somewhere, and there's just like, and it's just like, oh my, and the humidity hits, and the combination of the AC and the humidity, all of a sudden your floors get sort of wet a little bit, like that hue. Then you go in the fridge and you get one of the free crystal lights they put in there or whatever it is.
Crystal lights.
I was thinking of Cuba, but
crystal light is not no.
Or whatever. Dos Equis, Jeez. Crystal Light?
Well, that's like a Kool-Aid.
Well, whatever. Dos Equis, and you go on that deck and you're looking at the early morning sun. It's like 7 a.m. And you crack that crystal or that Dos Equis and you drink it. It's hard to find a better feeling. When that,
oh my God, like the way you described that, I was like transported to Mexico. I know that exact feeling, and oh my gosh.
the smell.
So good.
When you open that sliding door and it's already 30 degrees outside and it hits you, and just the combo like between the AC, that like contrast.
You should write a book.
And it's just like, oh my God. And then you have that first beer and it's still dark in the room, but sunlight's coming in, and your wife's going, close the blinds.
Mm.
And then so you go, all right, I'm just going to grab another one real quick. Hold on, I'm just going to grab the second Dos Equis.
Oh my God.
Then you grab the second one, and it feels so good. And then you shower, you go put your towels on some beach chairs, you go to the breakfast buffet, have mimosas, you eat your face off, have a coffee after, then you go to the beach and you start drinking all day.
Okay, you need to stop because I need to be there right now.
And when you first sit on the beach after breakfast and stuff, you can hear the party pool starting. The music's just low. It's not really starting. There's no one there, but the staff is a little hungover from the day before. They're getting ready. You can hear the distancing.
So nice.
And they're just getting it ready, and everyone's in a good mood. And it's only about 10 a.m. You've already had breakfast, two drinks, a mimosa.
What is my favorite drink, Jules? On the bar, on
Iceberg.
the beach. Iceberg, yeah. Explain what it is, please.
It's a beer with frozen margarita in it, isn't it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's just
Have you ever had one of those, Jordan?
No. What kind of beer? Like Corona?
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of
That
anything
kind.
they have on tap there. Then they
Light.
put it in a plastic cup.
And it's like a slushy, because I like beer a lot, but in the summer it gets warm, right? So the iceberg gives it that little zing and also keeps it cold.
And then you have a few drinks, and it's like, it's not quite lunch yet. It's like 11. So then you go to the snack bar and you get fries with like queso cheese on it. Just things that make no sense. A slice of pizza with fries with queso cheese on it, and a taco, and then you keep drinking, and then it's lunch. Then you're starting to feel pretty good. You have a good lunch. Should we do tequilas at this point? You do tequila. Then you walk around. You go check out the party pool. Now the party pool's bumping. It's almost 1 p.m. There's people everywhere in the piss-soaked pool. And you go in. You don't care. You know it's full of piss. You go in anyway. You go, you know what? I'm on
conflicting.
I'm on vacation. You go in. You sit at the swim-up bar. Have a couple there. And then you go back to your chair. Then you start talking about dinner. What are we doing? Which restaurant should we go to in the resort? Should we do the Japanese one? I don't know. That's popular. We should make a reservation if we want to. Should we go to the steakhouse? Should we go to Route 66? Last resort. And
Yeah.
then you have dinner. The fun part is when you, after the beach, before dinner, you'll go in your room, and we usually go, the four of us. We go with a couple of our friends, and we get ready fast. The guys, not to be stereotypical, but while you guys are getting ready, we're on one of our decks, patios off the room, and we're having beer. They replenish the beer at that point, and you leave extra money in a note, extra cervezas, por favor. And they load you up in the fridge. They usually leave 2 Dos Equis for $5 American. They'll leave you 8 or 9. So now you're sitting on the deck, waiting to go to dinner. You're a little sunburnt. You're feeling good from all day. You're in fresh clothes. You're ready to go out for dinner. You're having those beer. Then you go out to dinner. Then you have post-dinner drinks. Then you're in bed by like 9:30. I like to pop the TV on at that point, just watch cable news for some reason. I don't know why. I don't watch cable news anywhere else but when I'm on.
Or like 17-year-old Days of Our Lives.
Yeah. And then you crash.
Old episodes.
And then at 6 a.m. the next morning, you do all that over again for 7 days.
You're very mixed message in this podcast. You're like, if anyone is looking to quit drinking and...
No, but I'm saying in
reach
context.
out.
That's what I mean.
I know, but then you're like, oh, you wake up, crack a beer. So
But that
good.
was my whole point. In context, that was the whole how it started.
I know,
It's
but
the only context. But I'm also, yes, I'm going to try a resort sober. I mean, my buddy Mario, when they came that year, he was sober.
Yeah.
He must have had, well, I mean, not like officially, but I think he only had like 3 beer the whole trip. He just ate his face off and still had fun. Is it fun, though? Can you do an all-inclusive resort sober? That's the ultimate test. I've done the holidays sober, Christmas and all that. That's pretty easy, actually. But an all-inclusive resort, can you do that sober? Would it be fun? I guess it still would be fun. You're out there. It's the sun. You're outside. Maybe if you're sober, you'd want to do more adventure-y stuff. Like, let's go ride some ATVs down a canyon. I don't want to do that stuff, though. I don't like doing adventures. I like doing absolutely nothing on a resort. I don't want to go parasailing or what's it called behind the boat where they like. I just want to sit like, oh, let's rent Sea-Doos and then go explore the uninhabited islands. Now, I don't feel like doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, would a resort be fun sober? Just sitting there on the beach. I guess the whole thing at that point would become the food. Just eat your face off.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody? Hello?
Hello? Is
I think
anyone
it
there?
would be. I think it would be fun still, but it's just the temptation because it's just like at your disposal not for free, but for free.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's annoying being around drunk people and you're sober. But
I'm kind of past that. I don't really. I mean, yes, it can, but I don't know. I want to try it.
oh yeah, you should. Hey, by the way, we're 30 minutes into the podcast.
Okay.
Oh, that was my job. Whoopsies.
No, but we'll get there. I just want to get an answer if it's possible to do a resort sober. Resort.
Definitely. Of course it
Absolutely.
is.
But it just makes you wonder, like, I know what you mean, Jules, because the thinking is I'm paying this money to have unlimited booze. Like, the booze is a big part of it. The booze is almost number
It's the
one.
whole thing.
And number 2 is the food.
Yeah. So how do you remove the booze from the equation? And
Maybe
find some cocaine?
fake
Cocaine.
cocktails. You can still have those. And they have good smoothie bars. And you can have, like, a Bloody Mary with no booze in it.
Yeah. I guess it just becomes the food and the beach. I have friends that have found cocaine down there and they've done it. I'm like, are you
What?
crazy? I know. That seems to me so crazy. I would not trust anything.
Oh, my gosh.
I'd be like,
and
this
what
is
if you got in
fentanyl.
trouble, too? Like, what if you got caught with it
Yeah.
in a foreign country? Woof.
Well, I do have a friend that was smuggling it from Aruba and got sent to an Aruban prison.
That's
Excuse me.
insane.
That's terrifying.
And is that person out of the prison now?
She was out. She so she was smuggling. She had a drug dealer boyfriend in Toronto, and I was a reference for her getting her condo. I was her boss at the restaurant I worked at, and so I had like made up. You know, you always you inflate the numbers and so on. So got her a condo. And
I love how you said that as if everybody would do that. I would never do that.
You'd never do that?
No.
Someone came up to you, they're like, could you bump up my income so I can get this?
No.
Oh my God, absolutely. Let's get you. I'd never let paperwork. If I'm in charge of the paperwork, I'd never let paperwork stand in the way of someone getting a sweet pad, especially someone I trust. And she was very responsible. I mean,
Well, she sounds it.
and she,
Drug trafficking and all.
well, you know, whatever. Jeez, Judgy Magoo over
Well,
there.
I don't think that's judgy. She's
No? What's the definition? What is it that you're doing?
assessing.
Which
after
is
the
a synonym
information?
for what? Judging.
No, it's not.
A judge could be like, after my assessment, I find you, I sentence you to 20 months.
All right, continue. Just let's hear your story.
So she had a drug dealer boyfriend. But anyway, she was really responsible paying her rent. She was never, ever, ever late. Her landlord absolutely loved her. And actually, we had moved here at that point. I get a call at some point from her landlord. This Toronto number calls me. He's like, yes, you were a reference for this girl. We'll go unnamed. And he goes, I haven't, it's like the 6th of the month. And I haven't heard from her He goes, I don't care. It's not about the money. He goes, I'm just worried about her. He goes, she's never been late in the year and a half that she's lived here. She's always paid on time. And she always responds to my texts or phone calls, always, or we'll get back very quick. It's the 6th of the month, and I haven't heard a word from her. I'm just concerned. Have you heard from her? I'm like, fuck, no, I don't even live in Toronto anymore. I don't know. So this was when Snapchat, well, Snapchat is still big, but I don't know. I don't understand it, so I'm too old for it. But I had it back then to chat with some people from work. And I sent her, what was that?
It's not mine.
Oh, weird. I send her a snap, and I was like, hey, are you okay? And I saw that it was never like read or opened. And that was weird. So I'm like, oh, what's going on? So I asked a couple people that we used to work with, have you heard from her? And they're like, this guy I used to work with goes, no, but the cops were here. She's like a missing person. She just kind of vanished. I'm like, oh, shit. Turns out, and then eventually they found her mother, and her mother had been in touch with her. And so she had a drug dealer boyfriend. She was influenced. She was very young. So she was like 20 years old. And at that age, it's almost not your fault when there's someone older like that in your life, like a boyfriend. You know, you're impressionable, you're vulnerable. Not to take away from her responsibility, but anyway, so she was smuggling. She would wear these bodysuits and like fill it with cocaine.
Wow.
And she would bring it back from Aruba. And she did it without getting caught once or twice. And this one time she went down and got busted at the border in Aruba.
Oh my gosh.
They took her phone right away, everything, without contacting anyone, threw her in jail. She was in jail for 3 months without any contact with the outside world. She was able to eventually contact her mother, so her mom knew where she was, but then it came out. And she's originally from the Dominican and was in Canada on a green card, so that was revoked. So then finally, after a few months, she replied to my snap, and she was like, I'm back home in the Dominican. I was in jail, this and that. She tells me the story. I'm like, this is insane. And she's like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to come back to Canada because it's a major crime. And eventually she was able to come back to Canada, got a job. It got expunged from her record somehow, and she got totally a second chance. And last I heard from her, she's back in jail for the same thing.
No!
Yes.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, last time I went to Toronto in December of last year at Absolute, I went to the restaurant and I was talking to Raul, and I was asking about her. I'm like, where is she? What's she up to these days? She's back. He's like, no, amigo, she's back in jail. I'm like, oh my God. For the same thing, not in Aruba or whatever, but it was drug charges, so she's back.
Wow.
In jail, she'll be in jail forever. I mean, she'll be in the system and just will never be out. But she started at the restaurant. She was 17 or 18 years old.
That must freak you out to think of that, eh?
Kid, yeah, just this young kid, a great worker. This is why I knew, like, I had no problem giving her a reference and beefing up her salary, because she was such a good worker. I mean, you could tell when someone's just a lazy teen or someone's a good, she had her good head on her shoulders, and she just got influenced by this guy.
Sad.
And her life is ruined.
Well, you see these various shows that you watch, and a lot of times when people make choices like that, they have like father issues.
Yeah.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. Like their model of love when they were growing up was maybe like really like the equivalent of that almost, like that's comfortable for her.
Yeah.
That's why it's always amazing when people who have issues like that growing up make something of themselves, because you wonder, how did they do it? Like
she actually,
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like I really believe in therapy and working.
She had a great family
and,
in the Dominican. Her dad's a dentist, and like.
What the heck?
Yeah,
man?
she's.
Yeah, but maybe there's something we don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason somebody act like that's really one time, okay, but like, why twice? Just sabotaging yourself.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Daily dose, daily dose. Get the news from coast to coast. Daily dose, daily dose. All your news from coast to
All
coast.
the news and headlines from Jen Grant.
Come on.
Yo. So here's your daily dose. The daily dose, I like to keep either neutral or positive as much as possible, but we would be remiss if we did not mention Hurricane Fiona. That
I
just
thought you were going to
happened.
say the Queen. I was like, can we not? Can we not? I legit thought you were going to
I
be like,
thought that too.
really?
As if.
Yes,
Nah.
I did.
I'm like,
No.
are we really doing Queen news?
No, Hurricane Fiona.
Yes.
I just went through,
We were affected by it. Well, I mean, we got lucky, but
in New Brunswick, and PEI and Nova Scotia all got hit. And some places worse than others. We, as a lot of you listeners know, we bought a cottage in New Brunswick in a beautiful little community, and that's really close to the ocean. So it was very touch and go there for a while for our cottage, for our friends and neighbors that live there. Some
well, the
people
property
got
flooded.
It really bad.
It went right up
Yeah.
the foundation, right under the line where it would come into the cottage.
Ugh.
By the way, did you see? Not to, I'm not changing the subject,
okay.
but it's a. I saw an satellite image of PEI.
Yes.
That is depressing as all fuck.
I know.
I remember when we were in school as kids, one of our teachers, I can't remember which class, maybe gym class. That was a dumb joke. Told us that in like 100 years there'd be no PEI left. Obviously, it's not 100 years, but eventually there will be no PEI, and but it shows the erosion, the satellite image before and after.
I was just going to talk about that.
Oh my God, that's depressing. It's like when you see like PEI and it's not huge on the map, but like, let's say if you could picture PEI, because I don't have it pulled up here. If you have picture PEI as like a green island, the satellite image. And then after Fiona, there's like a 2 millimeter red outline of the entire island. And that red outline is erosion because the sand is red on PEI. So it actually shrunk the island by a percentage. And if in a day it did that. So imagine just
Over time.
Yeah, over time, unless they do something, it's going to
Well, it's funny.
keep disappearing.
I always wanted to live right waterfront, but now I'm like, ooh.
And these only get worse. There was Dorian in 2019, which was really bad. And now in 2022, 3 years later, Fiona out east. I mean, it's crazy. Like, we never had those kinds. We would out east get tail ends of hurricanes that would be tropical storms or whatever by the time they hit. We would get that once every 5-6 years. And then now it's just full-blown hurricanes. And here in Ottawa, we get tornadoes. I mean, what the fuck?
I'm feeling like looking back on, we raised the cottage to fix some things about our underneath the cottage. We should have almost raised it more when.
I mean, that's
we
a
did
totally
that.
big, much bigger job than.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah, you'd have to like do a new foundation. I mean, we should do it. We should lift it about a foot or two because our whole property needs to come up. Like there needs to be more fill. We're like the cottage is like in a hole. That's why when the water receded, our property was still full of water in the back corner because it's like a hole.
But do you think that may have even helped us so that at least the water stayed down instead of up? Like if.
Well, no. If it was not a hole, it wouldn't have.
Like it would all be perspective, I guess, eh? Like if we were higher up, our land was higher up, then the cottage would have been higher up, so it would have been the same.
It wouldn't have been the same because the land, like let's say we raised the whole property by 2 feet, it would stay dry.
No, I know. No, anyways, I know. Anyways. So yes, everything you're saying is interesting. Okay, so we have a renter who's staying in our cottage.
Oh shit, we have to call her.
Why? No, I talked to her.
Oh, she's moving in today.
Yep, I talked to her.
On the phone?
Yep. I'll tell you all about it later. I thought I told you.
No.
Anyways, she was telling me that she knows people whose trailers are completely ruined and the insurance will not pay it because of the Hurricane Dorian that happened a couple years ago. And now insurance, and that's part of what I was reading about today, is that Fiona's insurance bill could hit $700 million, but most damage won't be covered.
Yeah, I don't think we're covered for. Our cottage is not covered for much.
Right.
If it burns down, we're not covered. If like someone goes in and robs everything, we're not covered. It's
What
just
are
like,
we even covered for?
I don't know. I have to look into it, but like I don't know actually.
And of course, they say that research leans towards storms getting worse. So this is, I don't mean to be a bummer, but insurers, for instance, in 20 years ago, paid out for like severe weather claims, paid out $631 million a year. Now they're paying out $2 billion per year. And that's obviously going to change the more that it happens. They probably won't pay out much. But like you said, PEI's sand dunes help protect the province's shores, but now it's been severely eroded since Fiona, like you said. And the sea level is rising at an alarming rate. Powerful storms are obviously attributed to climate change, but like they're still framing it like could be. It's like, yeah, pretty sure it is. The Earth is more than 1 degree Celsius warmer than it was 150 years ago, which doesn't sound like much, 1 degree, but obviously it is.
No, it is.
There's extreme weather all over the world, and it's like a warning. These storms are like a warning if we don't do anything about the fossil fuel use. So I want to look into what us as individuals can do to lower fossil fuel use.
I don't even know what the answer is. Like electric
know.
cars are bad on the environment. Everything's bad on the environment.
I know. It's
Like everything. It's just like you trade in one thing for the other to make yourself feel better, but without looking into the thing you're driving or you're doing also has an impact. Like
Right.
electric cars have huge impacts, negative impacts on the environment.
maybe we're supposed to stop moving around so much. I don't know. In June, Ottawa committed $35 million to a resiliency fund, but that's mostly for research and won't help rebuild communities. So I guess something dramatically needs to be done. And hopefully, you know what? Hopefully these storms are affecting the economy enough that the powers that can control a lot of what happens to the environmental damage will actually do something about it, because it's going to affect their purse strings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're flying around in private jets and everything. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Like
know.
Trudeau does all these things, and then he'll zip around in a private jet everywhere. It's like, how hypocritical. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I know.
Let's get political on this thing. On this bitch.
On this bitch. Okay, so shifting gears a little bit. This is less intense. Federal authorities are set to close Canada's borders to commercial dogs, including ones being put up for sale or adoption from more than 100 countries, because they are at high risk for canine rabies. Because right now in Canada, I was shocked to see this. I don't know if this is a typo, but there's like 0 cases of rabies in all of Canada. But they say that rabies is nearly 100.
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
So sorry.
That scared the shit out of me. They say
Oops.
that rabies
I'm
is
rusty.
nearly 100% preventable with proper vaccination. The disease is 99% fatal for humans and dogs once they start to show symptoms. That's crazy. There are no cases of rabies in Canada, like I said, but it kills 59,000 people every year in countries affected by the ban, including Afghanistan, Ukraine, and mainland China. Interesting, eh? There's also, now that we're getting into the fall and everything, a lot of people, you've noticed a lot of people are sick, with colds or with COVID. The booster that specifically targets the Omicron variant is now available across Canada, and different details apply to different provinces. So look into that.
Not taking it.
Oh, I am.
You are getting your booster?
Yeah, for sure. I don't want to I've seen how sick people are. I don't want to get that sick. I'm sure I would survive without the vaccine, but I don't want to get that sick. Sucks.
But like we've all, not to get political again, but it's like we've already had 3 or 4 and people are still getting that sick. So you know what I mean?
But you need it recent, they say.
Yeah, but
Like, you
people got it.
can't-
I don't know.
You can't just get, like, I got it months ago now. So if I was exposed to that variant, I'd get more sick than if I had the booster. Like, we always have to get boosters.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just. I had my two first doses. I'm not by no stretch an anti-vaxxer. Obviously, I believe in the power of vaccines. This one. I'm just not. I had my two first ones. I got COVID 3 times after that. I'm just like, you know what? I'll take my chances, and I'm not gonna do it. I'm also scared of the effects of it. The what's it called?
I don't know.
Yeah,
The effects of the vaccine.
it's called what's it called?
What does it do to you?
Oh, myocarditis.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I had.
Yes.
The heart.
Yeah. I know that you can get it from COVID too, but statistically, it's way higher to get it from the. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to get it.
Well, now you're making me question it. But what if you're immunocompromised? Would you get it?
Yeah, maybe.
Like if you're on chemo or you were.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe like.
But I'm very healthy
citizen.
and
no, but if you're a senior
exercise
and stuff. If you're a senior, you would.
Yeah, well, for seniors, they don't have myocarditis. Like they almost like the effects, the negative effects on from the vaccine affect younger people by a lot more than older people. I can't remember. I don't know the numbers, but it's quite a big number. They're saying too Moderna people that got Moderna, especially.
That's what we got.
I know. Statistically, if you're under a certain age, if you got Moderna, you're like 500% more likely to get myocarditis versus COVID. But if you're above a certain age, the chances are virtually zero.
Maybe I'll talk to the doctor.
I was listening to an interview with Dr. Drew. I mean, he's a doctor, regardless of what you think of him, because he's a fame whore. But he is still a well-known physician, and he says like to anyone over 60, he just pumps them full of boosters and COVID vaccines like nonstop. But any young person, he advises them not to. So it's just like it's case by case.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure. I'm not like adamant, like because I could flip flop on this, but I don't think don't think I'm gonna get it.
I gotcha. You definitely bring up some good points. I hear you. And
Moderna's not even allowed for like under a certain age. They don't even allow it. Yeah. Because of that.
And I'm full of it. And that's the thing. Once you get it, you can't get it out of your system. It's such a bad feeling when you go. Oh. And also why?
Ew.
Like I know. And it's like, all of a sudden, the pharmaceutical companies are like know all the answers. Is like, yeah, they do good things, but they're also responsible knowingly for the opioid crisis and a bunch of other things. Why all of a sudden for this? Yes. Oh my God. Just look it up. There's so many. It's
big pharma.
Yeah, big pharma. The big public cases and all this. But all of a sudden they're like, for this, they know everything and have all the answers. It's like, what if they don't? Even doctors don't know all the answers. I mean, you figure it out as you go. So it's like, why is there absolute certainty one way versus the other? I'm not saying anything. I'm just backpedaling because we're gonna get flagged here for our content. But anyway, again, not to get political and get into this. What is this fucking May 2021? I mean, who cares at the end? I shouldn't have brought it up just now, but I'm 99% I'm not getting that booster. And the way they push it, I'm just like, stop. I get emails all the time from Health Quebec, like, get your booster. Anyway.
I don't know. I get it though. So with the war in Ukraine, is all we were talking about, and then it's still happening, but it's not really first, front page news anymore. There's masses of Russian people that are fleeing the country, and European neighbors are grappling with whether they should let them in and what to do. I saw 2 men interviewed, 2 Russian men, and they had the subtitles on the bottom because they were like, speaking in Russian language. Said it's very
Russian.
It's very hard to change anything in a totalitarian country. It's not possible to fight our government with opposition. If you have anything negative to say, they will arrest you and jail you. Or you do something that will make it impossible for you to. They will do something to make it impossible for you to speak out in any way about the president or country. And so we can complain about our country, but imagine living.
Yeah.
It's just nightmare. So that's happening right now. Count your blessings.
Ooh, so much for keeping it light and positive.
No, but
how's the Queen doing?
nah. Oh, and did you see that soon we're not going to have to wear masks on planes? How do you feel about that?
I thought that was over.
That's starting October 1st.
Oh, in Canada. In the States, it's been over for a long time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's been
okay.
over for months and months.
Well,
I didn't realize that even Canada was still a thing. We're so behind on that.
Well, there's a doctor in Calgary that is filing a human rights complaint over that removal of the airplane masks. He has like he's immunocompromised.
Well, then wear it. Wear two.
Yeah, true. He could wear the N95.
I still see, again, not to get into all this shit, but I still see people, like, I will never wear another fucking mask. And unless I have to, it's like yesterday, I went to pick up contacts at the optometrist and they ask of it there in the office. So sure, put one on, but it's just so ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Never mind. but unless you put on an N95 before you leave your house and don't take it off once, it's the only way it works.
Yeah.
If you keep taking it off for different things, it's completely useless. And these rules, I see people now, literally this week, going into a restaurant. Masks are like back more than they were the last few months because it's going around. But you see people walk into a restaurant with a mask on and sit down at their table and take it off. I mean, how insane! What the virus knows when you're sitting and won't bother you. I mean, it's so crazy. It's crazy. And I think at this point, people are just wearing it to show that they're on a certain team. Like it's politicized. They're like, I'm this person. I'm just wearing it now as symbolism.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is where I stand. But it's just like,
right.
I don't care where you stand. I'm just personally not going to wear it because they don't do any. The cloth ones do zero.
Yes.
The only ones that do anything at all are the N95s. And unless you keep it on all the time when you're out of the house, it as soon as you take it off once, it's redundant.
What if you take it off in the car on the way to something?
Well, maybe, but I mean, it's just like, I don't know. People need to move on. That's my whole point. Move on. Here's my whole philosophy on this whole situation. We're coming up on 3 years. If you want to get the booster, the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, get it. If you're immunocompromised, get it. If you're older, get it. But it's your choice. If you don't want to get it, don't get it. At this point, it's not a pandemic anymore. It's an endemic. It doesn't matter. It's you're not doing it for others. Before, you were getting it as a member of society to do for the greater good for others. It's not about that anymore. You're getting it for yourself. So if you want it, get it. If you don't want it, don't get it. Doesn't matter. And as far as the mask goes, same thing. But my whole point is move on. People are holding on to this as if it's still May 2021, like I was saying earlier. Like it's move on. It's going to be around forever. Everybody's going to get it at least once. Move on. Move on. Live your life. People want to stay in this. I don't know who needs to hear this, but we're still in the middle of a pandemic. No, we're not. It's over. It's completely over. It's done.
Boom.
Move on. Thank you. Good night.
Nah.
I hate myself for bringing it up. I hate myself for talking about it.
Well,
Don't.
you might be happy to know that that's the end of my daily dose.
All right. Positive.
Okay. Well, you know what? Sadly, that was the most positive news I could find.
Daily Dose. Daily Dose. Get your news from coast to coast.
Daily Dose. Daily Dose. All your news from coast to
All the
coast.
news and headlines from Jen Grant.
Do we have an update on the Queen's health?
Nah. I'm going to do some spots this weekend.
You're going to check out and do some spots?
Yeah, check out the new Yuck Yucks in the West End.
I thought you meant like I'm checking out of the podcast right now. I'm going to do some spots.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm going to check out the new Yuck Yucks in the West End at a place called Biagio's
Yeah.
this weekend. It's going to be a really good show. Jules and I are both doing spots on Friday.
Yeah.
And
You're there Saturday too?
I'm there Saturday too, but you are not.
No, I
So you
canceled.
want to catch up, both of us?
Canceled my $25 spot.
Stop it. Why?
Why what?
Why?
Why what?
Why that? If you want to come and check both of us out on Friday, we'll be there. And I'll be there Saturday. And mine's not $25.
No, you're you. I'm me. What? No, I'm not. It was kind of a joke, but then your reaction made it seem like it's not a joke.
Oh, God.
Gosh.
Any hoozle manoozle.
By the way, there's insane homelessness happening.
Oh, okay. So I'm not the only one being a bummer.
No, this is a major bummer, literally.
Don't.
We're so going to get canceled after this episode. Anti-vaxxer bums.
Being all light about homelessness. Okay, go ahead.
I was coming home from the market just the other night on a weeknight, Monday night, and I parked in a parking garage.
I was wondering if you're going to talk about this.
It was the second story. You know what? And I regret telling you because now you know your reaction.
No,
would have
that's
been,
fine.
it was so much better. And no, it would have been so much better. I'm going to keep things more for
I
the
don't
air.
want the podcast to
Because
then you're not communicating
you're already
with me.
I was wondering if, you know what I mean? It's already, as opposed to just telling you.
I can still
I'll
talk
have a
about
reaction.
it. Yeah, exactly. Jordan will be like,
That's
what
true.
the actual F?
Well, you're overselling it.
Well, what do you think?
Oh, so this is why I
Just
don't want
go
to tell you
ahead.
things in real life. You're like,
Stop
Jordan's
it.
mind's going to be blown. I was wondering if you're going to talk about this.
Okay, just go ahead. Shush.
I love you. I'm leaving, and so I'm parked on the second floor of a parking garage in the market. And so I take the stairs, which, by the way, the stairs always smell like piss.
Always. Yucky yuck.
Don't they have, these parking garages make so much money? Have a maintenance person run the mop in the stairs once or twice a day.
Yeah.
They make a shit ton of money. It's $20 to park there all day. And if you lose your ticket, which happened to me the other day, I lost my ticket. So I'm like, can't find my ticket, whatever. It'll be $20. I'll just go. I put in, and it's an option right on the screen. Insert your ticket, or you hit the button for lost ticket. Lost ticket, $60. I fucking lost it. I'm like, are you kidding me? $60? Anyway.
Isn't that awful, Jordan?
So they make all this money.
That's
Just
terrible.
clean it.
And that happened to me and my friends once, and we just begged them. We're like, please, we're young. We don't have money. This is in high school, and they just let us.
I should have done that. I'm in high school. Please.
To be a gal, eh?
Yeah. For
we,
me,
cried,
they're like, I'm like, please, I could you look the other way this time? They'll be like, actually, you just made it 90. So they go. So anyway, I'm leaving, and it's like midnight. It's late in the market, and the market in Ottawa used to not be like this at all. Well, parts of it, if you went more north towards the shelters, you'd see this, but now it's everywhere in the market. It looks like The Walking Dead after a certain time of day.
Have you noticed that, Jordan?
I don't really spend a lot of time there.
Crazy, the junkies, the homeless people, and they're aggressive. They ask for money. They're at every intersection now. You stop at a red light, they just stare you down, and they yell at you if you don't give anything. Anyway, so I come up the stairs in the parking garage, and it's first floor, and then I'm coming up the second floor, and I hear, "Is that you?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, what do we got here?" So as I come up the stairs and get to the second floor, there's the elevators are there too. In the corner, sitting on the ground, this totally normal looking guy. I mean, he looked fresh. He was jacked. He was wearing a muscle shirt. Young black guy, say mid-30s, maybe late 30s, sitting there in the corner. Good looking guy. Just sitting there, his legs spread, and he's just he's got a box there and a couple things, and he's like, "Oh, hey man, thought you were someone else. Sorry." He goes, "Oh, dude, you would happen to have any change by any chance?" And I go, "Sorry." I go, "Dude, I have literally 60 cents. It's yours." I go, "It was all just dimes and nickels." I go, "Sorry, it's so little." He's like, "No, man, everything helps." He goes, "Mwah." Goes like this. He goes, "Love you, baby." He goes, "Thanks so much." And he goes, "Oh, you wouldn't happen to smoke any cigarettes by any chance?" I go, "No, sorry, man." He goes, "All good, man. Have a good night." And this whole time he's talking to me, he has a blue rubber band around his arm. He has a full syringe of heroin in his left hand, another full syringe on the ground, and he's 30 seconds from shooting up. And he's just sitting there.
God.
Doesn't that make you nauseous to think about?
Just a normal looking guy. Clearly at the beginning, you mentioned this, Jen, like obviously it's like early stages of his addiction because he will not look like that for very long. Just a regular guy sitting there. And he's like, he's got a huge rubber band around his arm, and he's literally seconds from shooting up. He had it in his hand. He was like flicking it when you do like you flick the thing to get the air bubbles out. That's when that's what I walked into, him like doing this. He had a green syringe and a red one, both full. I should have just tried it. I should have just been like, yo.
Ew, don't say stuff like that.
Yo, give me a little hit. For 60 cents.
Stop it.
I should have asked, how much of that can I get for 60 cents, bro?
Well, won't drink caffeine, but we'll try heroin.
yeah.
Thank you, Jordan.
Anyway, so
don't even joke about stuff like that.
why not? Why? What are the rules? What can and can't I joke about?
You can't joke about potentially doing heroin.
You're so sensitive for a comic. It's
shut your face.
What do you mean?
That's so insane. Oh my God.
Yeah, and so my heart's racing, right? Because I'm like, I could hear, like, when he said, "Is that you?" I was like, oh, fuck. And so, and then I opened the door to the garage, and this fucking, like, zombie-looking woman, maybe in her 60s, scabs all over her face. She's like, "Is my friend in there?" I was like, "Yep, he's in there." Oh, and as I was leaving, he goes, "By the way, I'm fine, man." And I go, yeah, just, I don't care. Do your thing. And I open the door, I go in the garage, and she's like limping towards me. She's like, "Is my friend in there?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Do you have any change?" And I go, "No, I gave it all 60 cents to your friend. Ask him for 30. And, but I get in my car, and I was just like, fuck. It just sent a shiver down my spine. Like, it was so close. He was literally at my feet, just there with 2 needles. Talked to him had that little exchange, just a normal guy,
like healthy looking guy.
Yes, healthy looking. He fit. His clothes looked clean too. It was just like he was about to spend. By the time I drove out of that parking garage, his eyes would have been rolled back in his head, and he would have been like, there for the next 6-8 hours, just
so upsetting,
passed out in that corner on fucking heroin. And I see them all the time walking in the market, just like trying to pick stuff up off the ground and whatever. The other night, this was a crazy one, and we're about to wrap up here. We just reached the hour, but I cross into Gatineau. It's everywhere, the homelessness, more than ever. And I don't know why, but anyway, especially in Ottawa. You understand the West Coast and stuff where it's nice, but why Ottawa? It's a shit town to be a homeless person in the winter. Anyway, I had a bunch of cash on me, so I'm like, I'm gonna stop at the RBC on St. Joseph. It's part of it's like in a mall, but you can access it from
I love how you're telling people where you are late at night with cash.
Well, I'm not going there again, but anyway. So I park there, and you can see. I'm just, for anyone in the area can picture it, because it's not an area that
it's true.
would have homeless people. It's all under
true.
construction. This is why I'm saying it.
And it's like a strip mall. It's in a residential-ish type of area. It's not like, it doesn't feel urban there at all.
It doesn't, and it's all under construction and everything. So I get there, and I pull into the in front of the bank. It's a brand new bank too. Like, they redid the RBC. It's all new, and my headlights are shining inside the bank, and I can see there's a guy lying on the floor with his hands behind his head, like you do, like, and his legs crossed, like he's lounging on a floaty in a pool. You know what I mean? Like, legs crossed, arms behind the back. And he's just totally passed out. This guy, maybe early 30s, mid 30s again. And I see right next to the one of the ATMs, there's 3 machines. By the third one on the far left or far right, I can see like long blonde hair. And I was like, is this a woman? What's going on? And so I walk in, and it just smells like cigarettes and shit in there. And I walk in, and the guy on the floor, the young guy with his head behind his hands behind his back, or his head, and his legs crossed, is totally sleeping. Actually, I felt like he may have been faking. It was like he looked too, I don't know. He's just like there on the floor.
Why would he fake?
I don't know. He's just on the floor. You know when you can see someone's eyes moving, like when they're closed. You know when the eyes are closed and they like vibrate. I'm like,
well, we've all faked slept before.
he's probably embarrassed to be just this guy on the floor of a bank.
Haven't we all fake slept?
Yes, we all have. I do it anytime you ask me any question when we're in bed.
Oh my God. OMG.
I forget what. Just send me an email in the morning what I can and can't joke about. And then
and send me an email also about what I can react about. And because I want to make sure I have the script right.
Just let it slide. It's not NPR.
Okay.
We're a comedy podcast.
Well, you don't think it's funny to have a reaction?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's entertaining. This is you're the funny man. I'm the straight man. And this somehow, even though we're both comics, you're
straight
outrageous.
Man. So I guess it is 2022. All right.
Oh, I take it back. You're not the funny man. Boom.
Hello. So the first guy's sleeping, and it just smells like cigarettes and shit. And it's not a woman next to the ATM. It's this like late 60s guy. He's got the face of an alcoholic, like skinny, red face, cheekbones peering out, toothless, messy, greasy blonde hair, and he's sitting down, and his pants and underwear are around his ankles, and there's shit everywhere, and his bare ass is sitting he's on the floor sitting there, and he just looks at me, he's like so out of it.
Ew.
Yeah, now I felt bad for the other guy. I'm like, this guy has to sleep next to this fucking shit filled guy, like with it's just
what's going on in that guy's life where he's fake sleeping around a shit
he probably
pants.
wasn't fake sleeping, but yes, it's crazy. And
fake sleeping or real sleeping, either way.
Imagine that guy, the younger one, waking up in the morning and like seeing that guy and being like, oh fuck, I gotta get my shit together. And like anyway, the guy's just sitting there, bare asshole on the tile, and his pants are around his ankles, the underwear are like
How do you think we feel? You're about to barf. We're listening to this.
And you know what? I still
Have a good day, everyone.
I still went through with it. I took out all my cash. I put my ATM card in the machine.
Psychopath.
Right next to these two. And I'm like, the machine, it felt like an hour. I'm like, come on, go. And it's one of those new machines. So like you don't have to count anything or even put an envelope or anything. You just put all the cash in. It scans it one by one. And then it tells you but the scanning is like, and I had all these bills and I'm like, hurry the fuck up.
Good thing you didn't put that 60 cents in. That would have been an extra. You're really slow when it's
rusty.
my jokes.
Well, because when I'm the one doing it, I have my finger on it. I know it's coming, but when it's yours, I have to open the screen.
You should always have the finger ready because I'm that funny. Oh my God, you already had your finger there and it took that long?
You fuck off.
You fuck off.
Anyway, so I had like $400. And I'm like, this is really stupid. I mean, these people are dead. I'm like, what am I doing? I should have just like, when I was in the car and I saw that there was two people in there, I should have just backed away and left, but I was too stubborn. I'm like, I looked at them. I'm like, I can take him. I'll just make a scene. I'll swing and scream and do whatever. But I wouldn't have. If one of them would have been like, give me all your money, I'd have been like, okay, let me take out more for you. But it's just rampant. It's everywhere. The homelessness, I've never seen that. Especially there in Gatineau, where it's like a nice area and it's just like so random and out of the blue.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was really weird. And it wasn't cold outside, but it was raining, which is why they were in there. But fuck, man. Imagine the employee come in. It's really sad. I felt really, really sad and horrified and kind of disgusted when I left there. But
you're never allowed to criticize my daily doses being negative.
I know. I never did, by the way. You said that. You said you wanted to keep it positive. I don't care. You can talk about anything on the Daily Dose. I just said so much for keeping it positive because you said I'm keeping it positive. But you can say anything.
Well, I
all.
really legit. I don't want to. I legit. It was hard to find anything that wasn't totally depressing in the news.
Yeah. Well, the news is inherently depressing. But anyway, imagine you're the employee opening up the bank at 8:30, you walk into these guys. Like, what do you dig? All right, okay, wake up, guys. Let's go. You got to go. And, like, you have to clean that up. And, oh, my God, just...
No.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And I've since twice been there late at night. I went back, but I looked both times and there was nobody in there.
Well, in a way, they should just have, kind of like on Elgin Street, they have a TD there with an outdoor bank machine, but it's not like an enclosed area. I think that's why they changed it, actually, because originally they did have one like that. Maybe they still do during the day, during business hours, but they lock that at night because on Elgin, it's, Elgin's pretty downtown.
Yeah.
And has its own, element of that as well. So on the outside of the building, there's a bank machine. So that there's just I think there's like a little sort of cover, what do you call it, where there's a bit of shelter if it were to rain.
Yeah, like an awning or something.
Yeah, but there's no like enclosure, which is probably the best idea. I mean, they're providing this nice enclosure for people, but they're not anticipating that.
I thought about that. I thought if I was homeless, this would be the place.
Yeah.
I mean, but why don't they do like back in the day? You used to have to slide your card in the door to open it. That's all gone.
That's true.
Remember back in the day, it could have been any card, but you had to put like a card with a magnetic strip in it to open the door, whether that's a credit card, debit card, anything, and it would open. But that's all gone. Why did they take that off? I mean, that was literally the reason, to avoid homeless people going in there.
Yeah, they should do that again.
I don't know why they stopped. That seems like a step backward. Dear Banks. That reminds me of...
Dear Banks.
Bank Street. Hein? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Bank. Bank. Anyway.
You're so good at impressions.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Jen, I love you. Jordan, I love you.
Love you.
This has been episode 493, I believe, coming at you from Lemon Pro Studios once a week, every Tuesday or Thursday. We're kind of a little loosey-goosey, but we'll be back on track with 2 episodes. We've got sponsors coming up. We've got studio upgrades coming up. We've got a lot of exciting things. It's all on the up and up. So thank you for the support. We'll see you next week. Anything to add, anybody?
No, have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
Joj?
No, all good.
All right, everybody, we'll see you then, and until then, watch your head.